Hi, I'm excited to talk to you now about week 3, where we have some interesting plans in store for you. So first of all, I want to let you know that during this week you'll experience what we call case-based learning in business education. And case-based learning is a lot different than reading a book and then answering some questions. The idea is to engage in thinking about the company and the case situation and the scenario the company is facing at the time. And we're going to look at this, of course, through our IT-enabled competitive advantage lens. So, for example, we'll be thinking, are the companies that we studied are they going to have high barriers to entry through the technology that they're involving and investing in to compete? And we'll always be asking that question as we look at these organizations. And we'll consider 2 interesting companies, in fact, fascinating companies that you'll be able to look into today and check on the web at how they're doing and how their profits are occurring and how they're managing through today's economic cycles. The first is a company that's very successful in the fashion industry, and they leverage IT to compete in the retail market. So this is more of a traditional type of an organization, but they've changed business processes, altered the way that they do their business and certain parts of the value chain using IT-enabled capabilities to shift the way that they compete with others. And it's fascinating to see how effective it's been. The next company that we'll talk about is actually a successful IT-enabled organization. In fact, their whole company is based on IT because they have streaming media and content that they deliver to their customers. But they didn't quit with that type of IT enablement. They also look at specific IT capabilities around data and customer recommendations that they leverage data to be able to provide to enable them to compete and create potential lock-ins so that you as a customer want to keep going back to that company over and over. So in the context of these 2 cases, we're going to learn about some specific parts of IT enablement. One is called collaborative filtering. That deals with harnessing data as an asset. We'll look at customer personalization that leverages collaborative filtering. We'll consider an organization that competes using something called the long tail strategy that's IT enabled. And we'll look at how some products, traditional products, are beginning to shift into become service, or what some people call service products. So the example in our case will be the old DVD rental stores, which of course disappeared as streaming media took over to be able to allow us to download our movies and watch them anywhere we are. So we'll look at those things, and we'll also consider from that example how the digital economy begins to change some of those traditional business concepts that we have. In atomized or digitized content, for example, what's the notion of inventory? Do we need a physical warehouse for it? Of course not. So it changes our way that we might do business and think about things. Lastly, we'll take a close look at the overconfidence cognitive bias, and that will tie to your Excel spreadsheet assignment. So have a good week. I look forward to seeing you in the next discussions.